All right. So I just saw this article in the Post, and it's the number is it's disturbing. What let me just put it up here. Okay. So 1 out of every 179 Americans will eventually be murdered if crime rate continues.
Jesus.
Yeah. Nearly 40% of police departments nationwide did not provide complete data in 2021 to the 2021 crime to the FBI. So every year, FBI compiles the Uniform Crime Report. And what this is saying is that this is underreported by the police departments. Now, the reasons for these are several of why it would be underreported. One, first and foremost, is like how you evaluate a police department. You evaluate it by crime rates and murder rates. So if my numbers are shitty, I'm doing a bad job.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a tendency to underreport these numbers. So what they did, so it's this Just Facts. Let's just go through the article. A study examining murders in 2021 based on death certificate data projects out 1 out of 179 Americans will eventually be murdered over the course of their lifetimes if the country murder rate remains at the 2021 levels. So I don't know if this is like extrapolating an increase or what they are right now. So it means if you're in the United States, you live here, you're born, and you spend your life here, your odds of ending your life in murder are 1 in 179. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a little, that is fucking disturbing.
Not over a year or any other time frame. So it's just somebody's going to murder you before you die of natural causes, an accident, suicide, what it may be. Jim Agresti, president and co-founder of Just Facts, a nonprofit research institute, told Fox News. This guy's the guy who authored the study. Just Facts undertook a massive project to examine how many people murdered in 2021 after weeks of news outlets and experts reporting there's no definitive figure for 2021 murders due to newly released FBI data for that year being incomplete and based on estimates.
Jesus Christ.
It's like, I mean, look, it's like,
I'm just waiting for you fucking guys to legalize that purge.
Well, I think it's happening. America was throttled by violent crimes in 2020 when murder spiked by nearly 30% compared to the prior year. It marked the largest single-year increase in killings since the agency began tracking crimes. Experts who have previously spoken to Fox Digital pointed out calls to defund the police, the riots of 2020, the Ferguson effect when police pull back amid a spike of violent crime and unrest, and the COVID pandemic for contributing to the bloodshed of 2020. I mean, look, this makes sense. I mean, murder rate in New York is up like 185%. Chicago, there's like hundreds of people die over the weekend.
Who the fuck was getting killed during COVID when nobody was leaving their house?
Right. Well, apparently, I mean, it didn't matter if you're 6 feet away.
That's right. Jesus.
It's like nearly 40% of police departments nationwide did not provide complete data in 2021. I'm like, holy crap. FBI estimates that between 21,000 and 24,000 people were murdered last year, but that data is buried within this report. Some outlets such as News Nation have reported murders much lower at 14,000, but Just Facts points out the number released by the FBI does not fully capture the actual number of murders in 2021. The 14,000 figure is accompanied by caveats that only 11,000 to 18,000 law enforcement agencies in the actual in the country actually reported the crime data to the FBI and noted the decrease is due to an overall decrease in participation from agencies. So the number went down, or the number was what it is, because police departments just didn't send in their data.
Yeah, they're like, oh, fuck this. We look bad.
Right. So where did News Nation obtain much lower figures from 2021? Specifically, News Nation told Fox News, used the Major City Chiefs Association noted the report also mentioned incompleteness of the FBI data in it. So Department of Justice under FBI released a study in 2014, highlighted Centers for Disease Control, which relies on birth and death certificate data, provides more accurate homicide trends than the national level, than the FBI supplementary homicide reports due to a multitude of reasons. Right. So here we are. I mean, even besides like the defund the police shit and the riots and things like that, I mean, we're seeing things even in our town where somebody's like, police can't chase anybody anymore. You know, like if it's like a stolen car, they just got to let them go. Like there's someone's robbing, someone breaks into your home, robs your home. For the most part, they cannot give chase once that person is in a vehicle. So what happens is like these criminals, they just become more brazen. They also are, the bail thing has, it's, right now they're holding nonviolent offenders without bail. I feel two ways about this. First, I'm like, if you can't pay your bail, if you're innocent before proven guilty, right, you shouldn't be held in prison. Right. But if it's obviously the circumstance, if you're a previous offender, if it's a violent crime, if it's, you have to go before the judge for some arraignment, before you determine what happens next before you go to trial. But again, it seems like, a lot of violent offenders are being let out anyway. So, exactly. And police generally aren't doing anything unless it's like a major heinous crime, like in progress, theft, things like that. It's nuts. I just, even California, if you're stealing less than $950, they're not going to prosecute you. Yeah. I don't understand, how, we're like, how we arrive at this number.
Now, is that $950 before tax or after tax?
I believe it's retail.
Oh, okay.
It's retail. So, the one thing this article doesn't do, it doesn't say how long or how often. So it's really not clear. Because of 25,000 people dead, that's really 1 out of 1,800, 330 million people in the U.S., 25,000 people dead. You do the math, it's like 1 out of 1,800.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be a significant increase, and why stop it? Why stop at 179? 1 out of 179. They could just keep going. Hey, if we keep increasing 30%, in 30 years, we'll all be murdered.
That's right. One out of 4.
Right. So, the number is misleading, but the fact that the murder rate went up 30% is insane.
Yeah.
That is nuts. So, and that's what we really should be, talking about. I mean, there's like, I'm like, if you're allowing, violence to happen and you're giving people the green light to, protest is one thing. This is riot is another. And that's what they did. And it was completely mismanaged. What happened in, after Floyd, after Ferguson, when you're just pulling back because, hey, I get it. The optics of it, cops kill somebody, then you send the cops out to enforce the law. Yeah, that sucks. But who else is going to do it?
Yeah.
Right? National Guard. I mean, now it's a military action, and now it becomes even a bigger problem. So, the reality is this. Violence is happening, and it's increasing, and it's not going away.
That's right.
So, if you're not looking at this and saying, I better have a plan, I just, I don't know what to tell you, because, the government is going to respond after the fact.
Yeah.
So you want to, it's like we're beating a dead horse, but it's like, it's got to just be, got to keep hammering it home. Like, you can't, like, you have to save yourself.
Yes. We're ultimately responsible for us.
Yeah. I'm like, look at, I mean, we were talking about your kid getting bullied before.
Yeah.
Yeah. School's right there. Teachers are right there. Staff is right there. Bus drivers right there. Everybody's right there. And there's still a little guy's fighting for his life.
Exactly.
Now you're an adult. It's like, oh, you can't own a handgun. Oh, we want to restrict body armor. Oh, you have to wait to be assaulted in order to, it's nuts, in order to defend yourself. It's like it's as if, and the only reason is, I think some guys like will talk about, one of the guys has a podcast for Gun for Hire. It's a gun range around here. It talks about 3-tier society. You've got the elites, which is everyone in the government, right? You've got the criminals, and then you've got law-abiding citizens.
Yep.
So one uses 2 to leverage its control over 3, right? Like, they're trying to pass a gun law in New Jersey now where basically, for the new concealed carry permits, it's basically restricting you carrying it everywhere. And they asked them specifically, is this for criminals? And they're like, no, this is for law-abiding citizens who get their permits. Oh, so now you're making criminals out of law-abiding citizens. I mean, obviously, it's unconstitutional. It's going to get overturned, eventually. But it's like as if they hate us, and they know better, right? That's it. They're like, I get elected, I know better. And when I tell you, from my brief stint dealing with people in at least my government at the local level and state level, these people are fucking morons.
I believe that.
Like, a good friend of mine was on Chris Christie's staff, and he goes, he's like, I could go to Six Flags any given day and pick the first 100 people to come through the door and find smarter, better people than the people I'm dealing with. He's like, he's like, I would literally be, approached by somebody and they'll be like, hey, let's say Chris said, referring to the governor, that we should do this. And my buddy would look at this person and say, okay, I'm going to meet with him in about 2 minutes and I'm going to ask him.
Yeah.
And that person's like, whoa. And you're like,
what?
Were you like 7? I'm like, I just told you. So these are the people who think they know better than us. They have limited, if zero, experience with violence. In fact, most of the people who comment against, for gun control and about, what you can defend yourself, most of them have never been assaulted or in any situation.
Yeah.
They largely are academics. They largely don't, have managed to avoid being put in these situations. They don't know what it's like to be in a fight or flight situation where there's deadly force, at play. I love when they take the news people and the politicians and they put them through like firearms tactical training.
Yeah. Yes.
I love those things because all of a sudden they shoot right away. I'm like, yeah, that's what happens when you can't see someone's hands. That's what happens when, they're not compliant. Holy shit. So, you got to empower people to protect themselves. Right. And I'm all for, look, you got to, defend yourself in court. But look, let's face it. I mean, there's some shit that's like, hey, some guy's in my house and breaking into my house and he's in my house and I kill him. Well, that's it.
Shouldn't have been in my fucking house. That's right.
I mean, holy crap, man. I don't know what to tell you. Right? Somebody takes out a firearm and is brandishing it in public. That's it. You've already demonstrated you're capable and willing to inflict deadly force and harm on others. So it's over. You don't do that shit. But the same token, if you're concealed carry and some guy, pushes you and you shoot him, well, you're an asshole too.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, like we said, I'm like, you should also be carrying pepper spray. You should also be carrying, that should be your first line of defense. I was just having this conversation with my workout partner. He's got, a couple girls, gorgeous girls, they're college. He's like, I got him like knives. I'm like, yeah, okay, great. I'm like, and the girl's like, you're like training karate, and they're, the good thing is they'll do something. But I'm like, dude, I go, they should have pepper spray, hands down, without a doubt. I'm like, just that's it. Anyone comes near them, and they tell them to leave them alone, and they don't. They just juice them, and they're on their way.
Oh, I'm thinking with those knives, maybe they can, start making some fucking sandwiches or something, right?
Right. But even if like,
sorry,
I know, but it's like, even if you're stabbing somebody and people, it's like, you actually stab somebody. And this is why, like, T-handles and blades with like finger holes in them and things like that. Cause you get it into somebody, it gets stuck in there.
Yeah.
The body like sucks it in. And plus once they start bleeding, your grip on this thing is difficult and you still got to wait for them to bleed out. And they're still going to be assaulting you. Even if you shoot somebody, unless you're hitting them like, base of the skull, center head, which is a very, very, very hard shot. One guy got hit with a 45 in the chest, still ran like 2 miles.
Yeah.
Right before he fell over and died. So, you got to basically wait, it's not instant. We're looking at these things in the movies where people get shot and they fall out. I'm like, no, there's plenty of videos out there. I remember there's one of this cop was fighting this boxer. I mean, we have it, one of our blog posts, where fucking guy shot, unloaded his mag into this guy, and it didn't even fucking faze him.
Yeah.
Didn't even faze me. Like, holy shit, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the cavalry showed up, but that fucking dude was, that's what you're dealing with. So, to stay, to start, especially for civilians, pepper spray is like your first line of defense and you should go. I mean, cops generally, if you're arresting somebody, you should be overwhelming force, like 4-1. Other than that, it's a fight, and you got to view it as such. And that's where the pepper spray comes out, just to get somebody off of you, because then after to effect arrest, you got to kind of like, unless you've got a tolerance to it because it's going to affect you, whatever blowback, you got to kind of let them like cool off.
Yeah, a little simmer down first.
Right. Juice them. And then you're like, okay. I think, what I love is when you see like 3 guys on a dude and then the guy from the side walks up and like pepper sprays the guy being arrested and the other poor bastards are on. I'm like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Holy shit. So yeah. It's nuts, man. It's crazy out there. I mean, nuts. And this is the world we live in, and it's not changing anytime soon. And, it's like we haven't, it's gotten weird because it's like now words, it's like we don't know how to handle actual physical violence anymore.
Yeah.
Like words have become violent. When words are just words. And since we don't understand, that what the difference is, and we haven't experienced, violence, then, we overreact. Right. So, cause we're lacking these mechanisms and that's what we're seeing. I mean, it's freaking, people don't have any respect for each other. They don't have any respect for, life, and it's evident in what's happening, so yeah, maybe it's good that the population's declining. They're saying like it's slowly going down. I'm like, yeah, dude. Yeah, that's fine. Got too many people in the way.
So like, one out of every fucking 179. So let's just hope we're fucking not that one.
God, less, like fertility rates decreasing by 1%. Yeah, population, is starting to shrink. Great, kill them, dude. There's gonna be, as Bill Burr says, there's gonna be lanes opening up on the highway.
Yeah,
like it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. All right, man. Anyway, so there you have it. It's not COVID, it's violence. It's going to kill you.
One way or another.
One way or another. All right.